Hey there, it's another beautiful day. Let's watch some stuff.
The word government, you break it down. People say this word every day almost, and yet they've never looked at the etymological roots of the word. It comes from the Latin verb gubernare. Once again, no V in classical Latin. No V, okay? So again, V's were rendered as either B's or P's in classical Latin language. So you could write this in what would be more modern Latin as gubernare with a V. But in classical Latin or ancient Latin, there is no V, so it would have been rendered with a B, gubernare. Now, what's the election of a governor called? It's called a gubernatorial election. Gubernatorial. Gubernare is in there. Okay? Gubernare means to control. The verb gubernare in Latin means to control. The Latin noun mens, which is where the second part of the word ment is derived from, means mind. Okay? So you put these together, and the word government actually literally, from its etymological roots, means to control the mind. Or in other words, mind control.
So on Facebook, I'm in a group called Mr. E Afterthoughts, and this popped up in there, and I thought it was fantastic. So I wanted to bring it to you because government, mind control, hello.
The only answer to the question, are we truly alone in this universe, might be the dark forest theory itself. This theory explains why we have not detected any signs of alien life, and it suggests that many alien civilizations exist in our galaxy, but they are hiding from each other out of fear of being destroyed by an advanced civilization. If you are scuba diving above a coral reef and you know that there should be fish all around you, but you don't see any, it's most likely that they have learned that for some reason it's important not to be seen. But since you are a newcomer to this environment, chances are it's not you they are hiding from, but something more sinister. But imagine that you are in a dark forest for 5 days trying to survive. Mysteriously, on the final day, you encounter an alien species just like you. Neither of you knows the other's true intention, and the one who pulls the trigger first wins. But according to the Kardashev scale, we are a Type 0 civilization, which means we are a noob when it comes to space wars, and our weapons are inevitably useless. So remember to enjoy every moment of your life, because if aliens find us, we are doomed.
Oh, I believe they've already found us, and they did a long, long time ago. And they're either studying us, waiting for the opportune moment to strike, or they're just waiting for us to destroy ourselves.
Stitch this with a fact you hate to know is true.
Poverty is manufactured. Scarcity is a lie. We have the resources, technology, and infrastructure available to clothe, house, feed, medically care for, and educate every single human being alive on the planet. We don't do that because it would be bad for the economy. But ask yourself, if the point of the economy is not to create a healthy, safe environment for human beings to thrive and prosper in, just what the hell is the point of the economy? If doing what's good for the economy is bad for humanity, then obviously the economy is fundamentally structured in a way that's bad for humanity and should be restructured into something that isn't. It should not be upheld, protected, and perpetuated in the name of some ideological commitment at the cost of infinite suffering. That's stupid. We are being stupid.
Am I the only one that feels like the word economy is synonymous with elites? Because they're the ones that are hoarding all of the money, and that's what all this is all about, is keeping them rich.
So if you haven't heard, Wyoming's on fire. And what's interesting is the majority of it is on the eastern side of Wyoming. Now, just for reference, the yellow part of this map is federally owned land, and the white part is privately owned. These major fires are all in the privately owned sectors. Now, what does this mean? So a recent discovery claims that there is approximately 2.34 billion metric tons of rare earth minerals near Wheatland, Wyoming, which is on fire. Now, with this supply of rare earth minerals, we would be the leading holder in the entire world. Now, where is Wheatland? Right there in the southeast corner of Wyoming, where the worst of the fires are. Now, this won't be an overnight transition. Many proposals still face months, if not years, before work is final. But the citizens of Wyoming are poised to fight long and hard against these mines. Now, what started these wildfires? So a wet or an area with an abundance of fuels just so happened to get hit by lightning and ignited the fuel. And the state's notoriously strong winds are driving the flames, making it even worse. Sounds kind of like the perfect storm. So I don't know, people. You can put two and two together here. We have a location that could be the leading source of rare earth minerals in a certain part of Wyoming that a lot of people are against mining, and now they're being told to evacuate. I can't say much more, but look into this. I think it will shock you.
I feel really bad for the people of Wyoming that are having to deal with this issue, but at the same time, that certainly is a little suspicious. Thanks so much for stopping by today. Have you hit the like button yet? Would you mind? It'll really help out my channel. And if this is your kind of content, won't you consider subscribing? And then come back tomorrow because I'm making a new episode every day.
Dear friends, I don't want to show you fear here, but unfortunately, I'm going to have to show you something, but it's for you, all of us, to stand up. I want to show you a few clips. Please watch this. You can see Noah's airplane doing this flight pattern, which is very strange, right where the storm began. And you can see in North Carolina, it's very strange flight patterns, which is not normal. Now, watch this satellite image right here. It's about to change. Do you see? That pattern is like a magnetic action done remotely. There are machines that can do this. I know you don't believe me, but you just search for it. I'm not going to put the names here. I'm not going to put any information here, but you can search this. This is real. In Brazil, it's the same thing. In Brazil, when there's dry places and they need rain on crops, they send small airplanes with chemicals and sulfate and all these chemicals they put on the atmosphere on top of the clouds to cause rain.
Now I know we've all seen our fair share of these flight paths over the last week or so, especially that one down by Milton. That's crazy. And we all have our suspicions that something is going on. They had to intensify these hurricanes for one reason or another. And as much as I want to give the government the benefit of the doubt and say those planes were just out there doing their little scientific checks and stuff, that's an awful lot of information to just ignore.
Oh, y'all are going to want to listen to this. So there's this constellation called Andromeda. It's also named the Chained Woman or the Chained Lady. As you can see, the lady. The brightest star in this constellation is Syrah. Spell that backwards, Harris. But that's not all. In part of the constellation, there's a star named Syrah, which we just talked about. And then Almanac. Spell that backwards, y'all. Kamala, the Chained Woman. The Andromeda constellation is based on the Greek myth of Andromeda, a princess who was chained to a rock as a sacrifice to a sea monster. It's almost like all the stars have just lined up perfectly for what's about to happen.
So is she going to get eaten by a sea monster, or is that some sort of analogy? Oh, by the way, we're going to talk some trash today. Buckle up.
This video is just in case you're one of those people that just don't get it.
Is to announce that the United States will provide more than $1.5 billion to address Ukraine's humanitarian and energy needs. And the federal relief and assistance that we have been providing has included FEMA providing $750.
Do you notice the difference? Up top is the United States providing. At the bottom to Americans, it's FEMA providing. That's interesting. You gotta listen to the verbiage. They will reveal themselves when they open their mouths. Replay it. Tell me. This is why you guys go and vote? This is why you go and vote, right? I just want to answer. Some of y'all don't like to read, so y'all need visual representation to learn. I call this class 101. Your government doesn't care about you.
Wow, that verbiage alone just speaks volumes.
Breaking news, Vice President Kamala Harris just got humiliatingly destroyed on stage after her teleprompter stopped mid-speech. Take a look.
Remember his number, 32. Today we got 32 days until the election. So 32 days. 32 days. Okay, we got some business to do. All right. 32 days. And we know We will do it. And this is going to be a very tight race until the very end. This is going to be a very tight race until the very end. We are the underdog, and we know.
Just remember, the people behind the teleprompter are the ones that are truly in charge.
Now I'm going to break this down just a little bit. She has words flashing in front of her. That's what the teleprompter does. And if those were her words, she would just be able to carry on. Those must not be her words. And I know a lot of speeches are written for just about everybody, but I know a few people that if they stand up there and the teleprompter goes out, they're going to be just fine.
But I guess my question is, do you think anyone else is coming down, bro? Like, do you think celebrity-wise? Steven, what do you think?
My girl, she was telling me something crazy about Beyonce and Jay-Z. So that supposedly Beyonce killed that young girl that Jay-Z cheated on with, and
that's a crazy ass story, bro. That's a crazy ass story.
See, she's like the sweetest girl ever, you know. And like, but now it's like, and then supposedly there's like this song that she wrote and has like kind of like details about the murder, and then that girl went disappearing.
Didn't they name the daughter after that girl? Yeah, right.
I don't know, that would be bizarre, dude. That would be crazy.
Yeah. It's something like that.
Sometimes I come across TikToks like this and I am completely oblivious to anything going on with Beyonce at all. And this is just a sequence of events that is like, oh, okay, well, that's weird. And that's as far as it goes in my brain because I don't know anything.
I have just received terrifying reports about the hurricane and about people on the ground in Florida. I believe that this will be the most important video I've made up to this point. Before we start, I just want to make you aware, the skies in Florida are looking like this again today. This hurricane is making reporters cry. I'm about to show it to you. This will be the most powerful storm that's ever hit Florida, maybe the U.S.
Incredible hurricane. It has dropped 50 millibars in 10 hours. I apologize. This is just horrific.
And he's not the only one. Ron DeSantis almost got caught in tears as well. They foresee the future. I'm receiving many reports from people on the ground in Florida saying that many cars will not start. I brought the solar flare up to y'all and the aurora because we knew something bad was coming. So let me get this straight. Many cars will not start. This is what the people are saying on the ground. And also they are out of freaking gas. I'm sorry, tell me again how people are supposed to evacuate the most dangerous storm the world has ever seen? And don't forget I showed you this was the sky yesterday in Florida. As of right now, this hurricane is the second strongest hurricane on record. And unfortunately, yes, it gets worse. I've seen models where it goes through Florida and hits the Carolinas. And again, that's if it does not turn left in Florida like Helene. Last week after Helene, my gut told me instinctively, it's not getting better, it's gonna get worse. Yo, I just don't know what else to say, besides I'm praying.
Milton is expected to make landfall tonight, and a lot of people are evacuating. A lot of people are having issues with their cars. So I'm hoping that everybody is able to get out. I know I've seen reports of some people choosing to weather this storm, and I personally think that's ridiculous. But, you know, to each their own. And if you're out there, please be safe.
The aliens are coming, just ask Alexa.
The James Webb Telescope had spotted an armada of alien ships heading toward Earth at near light speed.
I've heard from people in the Pentagon. In the secret of secrets in the Pentagon is the Samaran gods are returning. The military circles that are in the know about the cover-up here, they kind of in whisper tones talk about the return of the Samaran gods, and they're talking about what we would call aliens or fallen angels returning.
Now, you know me, and it wouldn't be a proper coffee talk without a little bit of alien stuff. I don't have an Alexa, so can somebody ask Alexa some questions and let me know what she says?
If you don't already know, the aliens are coming in 3 weeks. The James Webb Telescope has detected non-human ships heading for Earth at light speed. Estimated time is 3 weeks. But of course, this is only a small snippet of ships, as there are thousands of ships already here. But we cannot see them because they are on a different frequency.
3 weeks, y'all. Get ready. We'll see what happens. Probably nothing. Nothing fun ever happens.
Say it.
I'm not thinking about voters right now. I'm thinking about lives. And to be honest, it's much bigger than anything else. But we're thinking about lives, a lot of lives lost, a lot of people missing. And that's what I'd be focused on right now.
Drop the mic, Mr. President. Drop that mic. Don't worry, we're not done talking crap. Behind the scenes of these disgusting publicity stunts are only slightly less disgusting than the stunts themselves. Don't worry, I'm an equal opportunity YouTuber. We're talking crap about both sides today.
I need everybody to take a look at this and think real hard about how that photo came to be. That is Donald Trump's visit to Asheville, North Carolina, in the wake of Hurricane Helene. He actually had his staff build a small pony wall out of the debris from the building he was giving a speech in front of. Jesus Christ.
Quite frankly, I mean, I know who I'm voting for, but I am definitely disturbed at these publicity stunts. They're disgusting. Both of them should be ashamed of themselves.
So there's the evacuate California guy, and it's saying because there's going to be an earthquake or whatever, but it's not just an earthquake. It's that LA is literally a portal to hell. There's more demons per capita in Los Angeles than there is anywhere else on earth. So what he's feeling in his soul is that those chosen people need to get out of California if they want to leave a low vibration epicenter. That's just pretty much what it is. I mean, if you've spent any time near Hollywood, you can feel it immediately. As soon as you step off the plane in Los Angeles, you can feel immediately that this place is the hill of Armageddon, period. So, you know, shout out to the evacuate California people. It's not just because of an earthquake. It's more because this is the place where demons roam freely.
I haven't heard of this evacuate California thing, but I am totally game. I can be packed up and ready to go in under 24 hours.
Depopulation, gender mutilation.
Continue to be promoted by the medical organizations in the United States. Despite recent revelations from the leaked WPATH files and the recent release of the final report from the CAS review, these medical organizations have not changed course. So we are calling on these medical organizations of the United States, including the American Academy of Pediatrics, the Endocrine Society, the Pediatric Endocrine Society, the American Medical Association, the American Psychological Association, and the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry to follow the science and their European colleagues and immediately stop the promotion of social affirmation, puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, and surgeries for children and adolescents who experience distress over their biological sex. In our declaration, we affirm that sex is a dimorphic, innate trait defined in relation to an organism's biological role in reproduction, male and female. This genetic signature is present in every nucleated somatic cell in the body and is not altered by drugs or surgical interventions. Consideration of these innate differences is critical to the practice of good medicine and to the development of sound policy for children and adults alike. Medical decision-making should be based upon an individual's biological sex. It should respect biological reality and the dignity of the person by compassionately addressing the whole person. We are here defying the claims made by these medical organizations in the US that those of us who are concerned are a minority and that their protocols are consensus. They are not consensus, and we are speaking in a loud, unified voice, enough.
And I don't know so much about it being used for depopulation, but I couldn't agree more with what she just said.
If a mirror were placed in front of 096, revealing its own appearance, according to its rules, anyone who sees its face will be hunted down relentlessly. So, would 096 tear itself apart or meet its demise on the spot? One thing is for sure, confronted with its own hideous visage, it would surely descend into madness. Unable to regain composure, 096 would charge recklessly, aiming to shatter the mirror. However, to its surprise, as it charges forward, it vanishes without a trace, leaving only flickering red lights to testify to the events that just unfolded.
Where did SCP-096 go? Because that's scary. That's scary.
Not educational information, but I've done a little research this morning. It appears that over $3 billion has been given to energy groups, funded to energy groups that do lithium mining in the areas where these floods, this devastation is happening around Kentucky and all this stuff, all right? They don't have the money to give these people or help these people, American taxpayers, to help them with this disaster, but they have $3 billion to give to energy companies to mine lithium in these areas, okay? It also appears that Kamala Harris's husband has ties to investing with these companies, and she's about to sign off on some other deal for lithium mining in the same areas. This is not educational information, but I have done my research, and I encourage others to go check out what I'm saying to you, all right? But you don't have the money to give taxpayers, help taxpayers in this time of need, but you have the money to give people to tear their land apart so you can make money and do insider trading. Your husband's invested. You're going to sign off on it. Kamala Harris, you are part of the problem.
Well, I certainly didn't know that. This seems to be one heck of a fortuitous event now, doesn't it? That's disgusting. That's absolutely disgusting. I feel bad for the people in North Carolina. You shouldn't have to deal with this crap.
It's being run by accountants and lawyers, so I don't know if they'd know real music if they heard it. What they're looking for is acts that are going to make the most money for them. So you'll see all kinds of little gimmicks, so to speak. Nothing else to prove. I feel like the greatest performer that I could have been, and people who love me feel that I was the greatest performer they'd ever seen, so there's no...
At a time like this, if I was on medication right now, then one pill could have been swapped out, and it would be Michael Jackson and Prince all over again.
Prince was a wonderful and courageous musician who was not hesitant to speak out against unethical business practices in the music business. The higher-ups, however, decided to get rid of him because his honesty became an issue. The industry has now discovered Kanye West as a new target.
These rappers get not incidental. Somebody made $100 million and now don't have to talk to that artist or none of their crew. Don't have to validate none of their contract.
Kanye has been outspoken against the pervasive greed in the music business. Artists are viewed as cattle by executives and record producers who merely depend on them to generate songs that earn money. They treat artists like property and overwork them. Also, Kanye has frequently complained about how unfair it is to the artists, and Prince's final remarks confirm him in the end. In the music business, production corporations prevail. The rights to the music that their artists produce belong to them. When and where the music is played are decisions they make. Kanye publicly tweeted this information, which infuriated all the music industry officials. When you sign a music deal, you sign away your rights. Kanye believes that the artists themselves are to blame for being complacent with the system that seeks to exploit them. The artists are merely lining the wallets of those who don't give a damn about them by remaining silent about this injustice. All of Kanye's claims have already been made before by none other than the legendary Prince. Prince's comments validate Kanye's experience as an artist oppressed by the industry's elite, disproving his claims that he is a paranoid fantasist. Prince was not shy about complaining that his record labels were stealing his money. After a while, he stopped having record labels record his albums and started doing it on his own in his studio, but the record labels didn't like this independence. They demanded a cut of Prince's earnings at all times. When Prince was initially starting out, he was forced to sign contracts with these corporations that had unreasonable terms and conditions. He did all the work alone but had to give the music industry the bulk of his earnings. To his credit, Prince kept trying to find a middle ground. He considered doing work for the businesses again if the terms of these contracts were altered. However, the music industry boss's avarice led them astray. They were completely unwilling to give anything more than a token. Not only for himself but for everyone, Prince hoped the system would eventually shift. Every single artist in existence was being mistreated by the current system, and the only way out was to fight it.
And what has happened with Kanye since? I know last year he was painted as a psychopath, and he's pretty much unhinged at this point right now. All he wanted to do was get what was rightfully his. But that's pretty much in every single industry. If you don't play their game, they're going to take you out one way or the other. Either they'll actually take you out, or they're going to make you go crazy and take yourself out. That happens in politics. That happens at any job. That even happens in the conspiracy world. You don't play the game right, you're going to get taken out. On that note, I'm calling it for today. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me. Please come on back tomorrow. We're going to watch some new stuff. I'll say different things, and it's going to be fantastic. Until then, have a wonderful day.